Thank you. We do have one more witness coming, but he's had some travel issues, so he'll be here in just a few minutes. So we'll go ahead and go to questions, and I'll start. Thanks. First off, thanks all of you for being here. Thanks for caring. Dr. Patrick, our healthcare system is broken. It's reactive, not preventative. How do we get more longevity-focused care into mainstream medicine, and what's standing in the way?
Well, I think that the most important thing that we can do right now for longevity medicine is actually move more. And I think that the federal exercise guidelines are sort of out of date, to be honest. We don't focus at all on resistance training. It says 2 days a week. What does that mean? I mean, to be honest, people might just start doing some bicep curls, and I mean, there's not information there. You need to give people specific information, actionable information. I think resistance training, okay, well, you can do, 7 or 8 15-minute workouts throughout the week, and that's as good as doing 3 45-minute workouts in terms of gaining muscle mass and strength. So giving some more specifics in terms of like types of exercise, also compound lifts. Like you wanna basically make people be physically independent. So you don't want bicep curls. You want people to be doing squats, or you want them to be doing rows or deadlifts, things that are multi-joint, right? I also think exercise snacks is a big one. So there's nothing in the guidelines about how people can get exercise benefits by doing these short bursts of physical activity. Tons of research coming out on this. I mean, we're talking, a recent study just showed that doing 10 bodyweight squats every 45 minutes over a 7.5-hour work week was better at improving blood sugar regulation than a 30-minute walk. I mean, that's like 2.5 minutes a day. There's also tons of evidence coming out on these unstructured exercise snacks, and that's also something that can be recommended. So these are the kind of things that you take the stairs instead of the elevator, or you walk briskly instead of taking a car to work. And there have been studies showing that people wearing these accelerometers are able to reduce their cancer mortality by 40%, their cardiovascular-related mortality by 50% if they're doing 9 minutes a day of these unstructured snacks, where they're just basically taking advantage of everyday, situations to get physically active. It doesn't cost money to do bodyweight squats. You don't have to have a gym membership. So I think that's one important way that I think information can be improved and more targeted.
Thanks. Dr. Verdon, what's the most important breakthrough in aging research that we should be paying attention to, and how can we use it to actually help people live healthier, longer lives?
There's been an explosion of understanding of the biology of aging, and in particular the identification of what we call molecular targets. We now understand that targeting unique molecules can actually have profound effect on the whole aging process and on the associated disease. I also want to expand on what Rhonda just talked about. It's this idea of lifestyle factors. We talked about exercise, but there's a group of lifestyle factors that we all know about: nutrition, physical activity, sleep, human connections, that are really the critical determinant of your longevity. Actually, more than 90% of our longevity for most people is determined by the way we live. What's really important is to know also each of these variables are stackable. That is, if you are eating well, you're going to live longer, but if you actually exercise on top of it, you're going to live even longer. And if you have good human connections, you're going to live longer. Today, most of us in this country could expect to live to 90 to 95 in good health if we were to do everything right. So that's today. And there are communities within the US who live today close to 90 years old on average. And I can guarantee that not all of these communities are actually optimized in terms of doing everything. Right now, as someone who studies aging, I'm struck by the divide, the lack of knowledge of some of the things that we know are conducive to good health are not actually implemented. And I want to add one last point about exercise. A 15-minute walk in the morning and at night will lead to a reduction of heart attack, stroke, cancer, all of these chronic diseases of aging by 40%. That's 30 minutes of walk every day. And I defy anyone no matter what their lifestyle is, to tell me that they do not have the time to walk 15 minutes in the morning or 15 minutes at night. This is the type of information that people are not aware of, and it could have profound effect on the health of our population. So I'm really passionate about lifestyle. Next will be, of course, the additional interventions that the research is pushing forward. But for me, the foundation has to be these lifestyle factors. Drugs that target the aging process will come in the future. We're working on them. There are some really promising leads, but they should not be a replacement for reestablishing a healthy lifestyle in ourselves and the population at large.
Thanks. Let me now turn over for questions to Ranking Member Gillibrand.